Cherie. Welcome to Legit. It's an honor to have you here today.
Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to be here. I am definitely a fan of your show. I heard a lot of your podcasts, and I'm like, this girl is on fire. So when I had the opportunity to join your show, I was a little intimidated at first because you do so well. And I'm like, okay, I hope that I can be impactful and share.
Yes, that's good. So I have on here today Cherie Griffith Dunn. She is a transformational speaker, motivational speaker in Connecticut. So my East Coast folks, Cherie has helped over 1,000 rising leaders go from good to great using her 7 Elevate Your Life principles. She's known for her bold approach to helping people build a better you. No excuses. I love that. No, like really, no excuses. I can touch on that, but maybe another time. Her success as an entrepreneur over the last 2 decades has been marked by her ability to show up, speak up, and get things done. And so, they call her Cherie Gets It Done as her last name. And then also the 6-figure chick with 6 kids. And Cherie, you don't just have 6 kids, you have 6 boys.
Yes.
Right? Can you tell us
Six
a little
Black
bit?
males.
6
Yes.
babies.
Yeah.
Yes, given this social and racial climate and in the context that we're in, I know that parents, when I talk to parents versus grandparents, parents are like, well, you're just really trying to get the kid fed, go through school so they can be on their 2 feet so they can, do what they got to do for their lives. But, how does the dynamic change for you as a mom of 6 Black kids, boys, in this climate? And also, what are like the age ranges?
Yeah. So my kids are 7 through 23. I have 4 in college. 2 are seniors. 1 is a junior and 1 is a freshman. He just graduated high school. I have a freshman in high school and a second grader. So for me, parenting Black males became really important to me when I found out that 1 out of every 4 would be incarcerated by the time they were 18. And I said, not on my watch. Not on my watch. So I did everything that I possibly could to make sure that I educated them in the areas that I knew would be of focus when they were older. So I did a lot of math with them. I did a lot of science with them. And now my son is going to be graduating with his engineering degree in December. I have another son that's graduating with his BA in administrative business. Another son is going for social work. And then my freshman, he's also going in for engineering. I understood the importance of creating strong intellectual Black males because that is the one thing, education, the one thing that no man can take from them. So if they had come upon a life where they ended up in prison, I knew that at least I gave them a strong foundation of education that could someday help them through.
Right. So I saw this on a blog post. It said, despite good grades, accomplishments, pleasant manners, and common sense, many of our sons are seen as aggressive or prone to violence. When they transgress, as kids will always do, they are judged on a double standard. And they use this as like the Trayvon Martin case. They said he smoked marijuana, he had a hoodie. Like they were referencing these things as though it was okay for what happened. And when you did some research, he had white friends that were in the same, boat. So how does this, as a mom, how does this like really affect you? Like when you're raising them, isn't that obviously it's like now an added stress to, raise them in a way where they're really conscious of these kinds of things?
I feel the word that's coming to my mind is militant. I feel that my husband and I have had to run a strict ship because it was important for us for our children to do right. And so it's like you're enforcing and you're combating every single day. Okay, What did you do today? No. Okay, so this is how we have to do it. You got to get better. You may have gotten a 90, but I need you to get a 95. So let's work for that 95. I need for you to understand you have to be 10 times better than the next person.
Yeah.
And I recently had my 7-year-old come to me, and he said, Mom, he goes, you have us work so hard. He goes, why is it that we have to work so hard and my other friends don't have to? And I said, baby, that's because the world is a little mixed up right now. I said, but we're all working very, very hard to change that so that you can have an equal fighting chance in this world, the same as everybody else, so that you don't have to read 3 books today when the teacher told you to only read 1 paragraph. We have to, I have to set my children up for success in this world, especially when the teachers will say, all our children need is a little bit of love. How many Black women have heard that? They need more hugs. I hug my child enough. I love my child enough. What I need you to do is educate my child. Because if you don't, when they become 16 years old and they're standing at the light and your car is stopped at the red light, you look over, he looks like a threat to you. You lock your window and you roll that sucker up tight and you keep your face looking straight, because now all the stereotypes you've been told are now enforced as you look at my baby who you told me that he needed more hugs.
Right. And I also saw this. It says, our Black sons must know that no matter how much their fellow Americans espouse to them that they have the same opportunities as everyone else to succeed if they apply and behave themselves, that these words uttered by many as facts are fraught with prejudice intertwined with undertones of deception and innuendos of ill intention. They shall understand, however, they would not be allowed to use these situations as crutches. And this is evident in, I don't know if you've seen it, When They See Us on Netflix. It's like a long drawn out movie chopped up into series. It's one of the things that were suggested to watch. I think it's really great, but a couple of Black boys were just in the wrong place at the wrong time, in the park, and something happened to a white, female, and immediately they picked them up. And one of the boys, they had a list of people that were going to pick up, and one of them was not on the list, but they, it's like, do you want to come along? The detective was like, do you want to come along? And he's like, well, to give my friend moral support, sure, I will. And he was a minor. And I know when you're a minor, you cannot be interrogated without your guardian or your parent present. And do you know they actually fabricated a story just to fit all these boys in the story as to what happened to this white woman. And they needed someone to fill a hole. And so they took this young boy as well, who was just going to support his friend to fill that gap. And so I guess that's where that statement I read over there that says that we can't really, like, just saying behave, they're thrown into prison. Like, these are not things that really support them. And so I believe you have statistics on that.
Yeah. So we currently have about 21 million Black men in America, and over 7.98 million of them are in prison. That's 38% of our Black males who need to be home with their wives, need to be home with their children, need to be out there teaching their kids how to live. But, to go back to your comment, what are they saying? That our children don't deserve to have fun? So only their kids can have fun, drive drunk, speed and do crazy things, smoke marijuana, make bombs in their basements, not speak to their parents. It's interesting, the lives, and that's another conversation, but the lives, my 14-year-old is putting together some information because his friends don't look like him. And one day he was on a Zoom call. They were playing the games, the Xbox. And so the mother comes into little Johnny and says, Johnny, dinner's ready. He turns around, starts cursing at his mom. You're interrupting me. You're in my room. What the blah, 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 blah. And my son literally was like dumbfounded. He's like, you get away with that? Right? He was like, that would never happen in my house. He goes, and I would never disrespect my parents that way. So, although they want to counteract what it is that they see in the media, that the media portrays that we are as individuals and that our Black males are, their livelihoods are a lot different than ours at home. Ours are more normal than they actually think they are, right? So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, for me, it's important to understand as well that education is important. So we're getting our children into college now. So we're up to about 50% of our Black males who go to college. Of course, we know women go to college more frequently than men do. But when you look at it, how many of them are actually graduating?
Mm.
It dips down to less than 12% of them who actually graduate. That's heartbreaking. And, as a parent of 6 kids and 3 that are currently enrolled in college, I've seen it happen. I've seen where, they need help and they don't receive it. They're out, they like to have fun. They want to party like everybody else,
Yeah.
right? But little Jimmy didn't get in trouble for partying last night. Only my kids did because of the color of their skin, but I'm just grateful that I have great support systems. That's what we need.
Mm.
And to know that, there are deans who look like them, who care.
That's good.
Right. And who said, hey, no, this is not happening. This is not going to happen.
That's
So,
good. But yeah, I
yeah.
believe it really all boils down to, education, and
Yeah.
for them to be so fully exposed and aware of their surroundings. I actually spoke to somebody, older female, and she was like, "Well, if you guys would just do what you're asked to do, everything will be fine." And I was like, "Lady, look, there's a target on Black people's backs, Black men's backs, and no matter how much you behave, they are tried right on the sidewalk. They are judged right on the side. They are not given the chance to
Absolutely.
go through the whole process, right?"
Right. Think about it. My husband has dreadlocks.
Mm.
So if we go to the airport, the first thing they think, drug dealer.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? He's not a drug dealer. We're business people, right? I'm like, but that's not how they look at us.
Yeah.
Even though I could be dressed at like $1 million, they're still looking at me suspect.
Yes.
Hello, people still follow me in Nordstrom,
Yeah.
right? I'm paying thousands of dollars for pocketbooks. They're still following me and questioning my credit card when they take it at the counter.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's education as a whole for everyone.
Everybody. And I think it also starts in the homes. I actually had a conversation with her and I was like, look, you got to see that there's a problem. And it's not even just, it's a systemic thing. It's really deeply rooted and intertwined and so much that you don't even realize it. That's how bad it is.
Yes.
So I had like a full blown conversation with her. And at the end of the day, she was like, oh my God, then we need to speak to our kids. And I'm like, yes. And you have white privilege. And so use it. Speak to like your white friends will listen to you better than they'll listen to a Black person. So since I've told you, you go on and let them know and then let your kids know, and at the end of the day, she knew where I stood and I kind of gave it to her and she was like, okay.
I commend you for standing up to her,
Yeah.
but also educating, right? Because a lot of us can get angry to a comment like that. And I like the stand that you took to say, no, this goes deeper. Let's peel back some of those layers and really get to the root cause. So
and I think that's just where it starts. We have to have the heart. Like before I didn't want to. And I was like, if I don't, that's me like just letting it go. Like it's okay. And this is where we start by having the heart, whether she likes me at the end of it or not. I said what I said. So yeah, I think that's good. Do you have any last words?
I just want to say, as a mother of 6 kids, I branded Figure Chic with 6 kids because I believe that our children are not our excuse, they're our reason. And you can go out there and make the money that you need for your family so that you can provide the things that they need without struggle. And it's called get a side hustle, right? Meet some amazing friends like you, get in another community other than the community you're already in, because you too deserve to make the amount of money that everyone else. You deserve the good life too.
Yes. Do you want to let us know a little bit about your speakers program?
Yes, thank you. So it's called Elevate Your Life. It's 7 principles to elevate your life. It takes you from literally not being seen to being seen. It helps you package your brand. It helps you create a best-selling program so that you can get that out to your community, making sure that they understand that everybody has a different voice and everyone has something different that they need to give. And so I'm a connector, and I like to connect people to the good stuff so they can go ahead and bring that out. I also teach executive speaking so that they're interested in learning executive speaking, dressing like a millionaire. It's very important to understand how to dress, how to carry yourself, and etiquette. It's a lost art. People don't know what fork to use anymore. So you can reach me at CherieGriffithDunn.com.
That's good. That's beautiful. Thank you, Cherie. So I have a couple of random questions so we can get to know you. So the first one is, what is the first thing you do when you get back from a trip?
I rest.
You rest?
I rest.
Okay.
After I walk in the door, hug all my children, make sure that everyone is alive, everyone's still breathing, no bruises. I literally just rest.
Yeah.
I go to my bed and I rest. And I thank God for making it home.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Trips can be exhausting, right? Traveling. Yeah. Okay. Well, the next one is, how do you apportion time to harmonize your career and your role as a mom and a wife?
Yeah, so I am a very strategic person. And for me, my morning is my sanctuary. And that's when I have quiet time to get my thoughts together, to meditate and pray. I journal and I get to exercise, feed my soul so that I'm ready to give to my children when they wake up.
Yes, that's good.
Right?
Filling up.
Yeah.
And the last one, any embarrassing moment you had prior to a speaking event or in the middle of speaking or after it?
Yeah, so it's so embarrassing because, people never know what you're going to say. Only you know. So I was accepting an award and I had practiced this amazing speech that I was going to say. And the only thing came out was the introduction. And I literally stood there and had no other words.
Ooh.
And so I just kind of bowed.
like a weird, like,
I just was like, what was that? I know, I completely forgot my words.
Yeah, that happened. Yeah.
So then from then I realized, speak from the heart, and you'll never go wrong.
Yeah, that's so true. I know somebody else, isn't somebody, and they said no matter how much, like, even though they may have like a script or they practice, they still kind of just let that be a guide, but still just speak from your heart. And that's good. That's good. Love it. Well, Cherie, this is the end of our conversation. It was beautiful having you. I actually haven't had a conversation with somebody about, what's going on and really what it means to raise, Black boys. Like, you have 6. That's more grace to you, Cherie. More grace.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
That's good. Well,
meeting you and speaking to you and having this opportunity. You're a rising star, girl.
Thank you, Cherie. I appreciate that. Yeah. Well, guys, this is Cherie, the 6-figure chick with 6 kids. I just love that. All right. Bye.
What's coming in March?
Never ends. Jeez. We need to have more legit conversations,